Next Tuesday, at long last, it's time for the kids to go back to school. Or is it? You know, I have a hunch the kids want to go back. They want to see their friends. They want to learn. They want to socialize. They want some degree of normalcy to take root after months of lockdown lunacy. As for the teachers, or more accurately, the various teachers' unions, well, that's a different story, as always. This is especially true here in the province of Ontario, which is home to perhaps the most militant leftist teachers' unions in the entire Dominion. For it looks like the union head honchos want a vacation that began in March to continue well into the fall and perhaps even beyond. Indeed, much like other provinces, school in Ontario has been out since St. Patrick's Day, and yet with Labor Day just around the corner, numerous Ontario teachers' unions are telling the Doug Ford government, hey, what's the big rush already? That there's a clear and present danger known as the Wuhan virus. Don't you know about that? And hey, when it comes to the teachers' unions, it's all about the kids, folks, you understand? Which is why they so often go on strike, always demanding more money and more benefits, but don't let that fool you, folks, because even then, it's all about the kids. Yeah, the kids. Kids who are incredibly resilient to this virus. Check out the data when it comes to the number of persons under 20 who have died of the Wuhan virus in Ontario. Meanwhile, the real danger demographic is the elderly, especially seniors in long-term care facilities. In Canada, they make up a staggering 82% of Wuhan virus fatalities. That's where our focus should be. That's where our focus always should have been when it came to dealing with the Wuhan virus. Oh my, did I just say Wuhan virus? As in the place this bug originated, i.e. Wuhan, China? Gee, that kind of language can get you in trouble these days. After all, God forbid our federal government doesn't want to link China to anything bad, not even a global pandemic, even though China is the nation where most of the pandemics have been originating in recent years. But alas, naming this virus for its point of origin is culturally insensitive, perhaps even racist. Oh, sure, it's been an ages-old tradition to name a disease for its point of origin, from Lyme disease to West Nile virus, but apparently it's now offside to offend the mandarins who head up the Chinese Communist Party in Beijing by drawing attention to that nation's proclivity for producing global pandemics. Besides, China is that basic kind of dictatorship that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau admires.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
So it is that we must dutifully call this disease COVID-19. Say, isn't COVID-19 a planet in the Star Trek universe situated somewhere between Archer 4 and Ceti Alpha 6? Or maybe Uranus? In any event, the idea of getting the kids back to school has the thumbs up from Dr. David Williams, Ontario's Chief Medical Officer. Now, you'd think a Chief Medical Officer might know a thing or two about, medical issues. So what is the real reason why the teachers' unions, many of which are stacked with Marxists as opposed to medical professionals, are trying to delay back to school? Well, it's all about ideology, not immunization. It's all about resuming hostilities against this provincial government, not about starting over fresh. Golly, whatever happened to that old chestnut, we're all in this together? You see, prior to the pandemic crippling the economy and ruining lives, the Ontario teachers' unions were at war with the Doug Ford Progressive Conservatives. Sure, the average teacher salary is $83,500 and the benefits are top shelf and the pensions are gold-plated, and then there's that sweet, sweet 2 months worth of summer vacation. Sounds like a pretty good gig, wouldn't you say? But when it comes to these teachers' unions and their incessant demands, all I can think of is the title of an old James Bond flick, namely, The World Is Not Enough. In fact, last winter I made it my mission to cover the various one-day teacher strikes to try and get the rank and file to articulate their positions. Here, check out these picketers representing the Toronto English Catholic Teachers Union. You see, there were some members of this union that were actually in the process of indoctrinating elementary age students to be anti-government. Hey, get them young, get them forever, eh? And wow, what would Jesus say?
How you doing? Just asking people here on the picket line, what do you think about indoctrinating children to write letters to the Premier, basically reciting union talking points?
No comment, thank you.
No comment? You're a teacher, can't you articulate your points, ma'am?
No.
No? Oh, gee. I would argue that might be not a good thing to have you in class if you can't articulate yourself.
So she was,
You're filming me, I'm filming you. What do you think about indoctrinating kids to write to the Premier of Ontario? No comment? You're just filming me. You're free to film me, by the way. You don't have any problem with the indoctrination of elementary school children to be union stooges, basically? Hey, man, what do you think about the school indoctrinating kids?
Thank you. No.
You're a teacher. Can't you articulate yourself, ma'am? Ma'am, what would Jesus say about you withholding your services from the kids today? How about yourself, ma'am? What would Jesus say?
No comment.
What would Jesus say about you?
Question, by the way. Very ridiculous.
Well, why is that? You're a Catholic school board teacher, aren't you? You've got religion right in the name of your job position.
Ezra, go somewhere else.
Yeah, go somewhere else, Ezra. Like I said, you'd think that being a teacher, especially a teacher parading up and down on a public sidewalk with placards, would have plenty to say about their demands. Isn't that the whole idea behind picketing in the first place, you know, educating the public? But no, I seem to constantly encounter automatons who had been told by their union head honchos to picket, but weren't told why they should be picketing. Weird, as in weird science. You know, I thought I might catch a break going to my old alma mater, Lawrence Park Collegiate Institute, which is under the umbrella of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation. I gotta tell you, things have sure changed at good old LPCI back when I was a student there in the late 70s and early 80s. Indeed, just check out the faculty now when it comes to answering basic queries.
Are you folks teachers on strike today?
Why don't you call our central office? They'll give you an interview. Thank you very much.
Oh, what's the central office?
OSSTF, District 12.
Okay.
Yep.
Bathurst, St. Clair, and Northwest corner.
Can't any of you teachers articulate why you're on strike and not in class today?
No. Did you get consent forms from us first before talking to us like this?
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you, sir. Did I get what? I need a consent form to talk to you on public property? Are you really a teacher?
Are you really a journalist?
I think so. That's why I'm out here on this day. But if you're a teacher, wouldn't you be in class teaching? Why is that, sir? I'm just trying to do my job here. Can you tell me why you're on strike?
I'm just asking you nicely. Could you turn that off, please?
Is it for the kids, sir? How about yourself, sir? Is it for the kids you're out here? Would it help if I told you I'm actually an alumnus of this school, class of '81? What do you think about that?
So while many moons have passed since those wintertime one-day strikes, the teachers' unions aren't the sort to let a good crisis go to waste. That's why 4 major teachers' unions, representing almost 200,000 teachers, are going to Ontario's Labour Board, alleging that the province's school reopening plan violates its own workplace safety laws. Yeah, they had months to get their you-know-what together, but waited until the 11th hour to voice their concerns. That's today's lesson, class, the fine art of sabotage. Indeed, leftist teachers' organizations absolutely loathe conservative governments. If they aren't going to war over wages and benefits, then a virus that doesn't even affect young, healthy people, well, that'll make for a good excuse to stay home and collect money for nothing. And so it is that this Labour Board challenge has precisely zero to do with safety and everything to do with resuming hostilities against Premier Doug Ford and the Education Minister Stephen Lecce. The teachers loathe, or rather the teachers' unions loathe the Premier, and they loathe Lecce, and heck, they loathe conservative governments outright based on ideology alone. During the winter, the unions used students as pawns to advance their cause. Now they are milking the Wuhan virus to its fullest just to fulfill their leftist agenda. Hey, go, comrade, go. Oh, and if you think I'm being harsh, let me just turn back the clock to 2 years ago when I encountered a teacher on Danforth Avenue in Toronto. Here's the deal. I was doing streeters in the neighborhood in the aftermath of a deadly terrorist attack. That's when Katya Berdichevsky approached me to give me her 2 cents worth. Check out the fascinating discussion that ensued and ask yourselves this, folks. Is this the kind of teacher you'd want teaching your children during their formative years?
This is Danforth. This is our city. This is our city. Here's the thing.
I need to not be here. Based on whose authority?
Based on my authority, because I live here. Do you? Okay. Do you?
Well, you live right on this spot. I'm on private property.
Do you live here?
And that gives you the right to tell people to leave?
Capitalist mentality. Is it my property? No, but this is my community.
We live in a capitalist society, don't we?
Yes, we do, unfortunately.
Unfortunately?
Yes, very.
You prefer a communist society?
I prefer socialist society. Yes, I do.
Like in Venezuela, perhaps?
No.
North Korea?
Oh my God. Really?
Cuba?
Wow.
I'm naming all the socialists.
Descending into your own hell right now. Listen.
Well, these are hellholes. I agree with you.
Oh, hellholes. Now you're quoting Trump. Lovely. That was perfect. Perfect.
He did a different kind of hole.
Quoting Trump is the best thing you could have ever done for yourself. Way to go. That was priceless. Now you're done.
Way to go. I'm done here. It's priceless.
He is now done here.
You don't care what ISIS is doing in the world right now?
No, I actually don't. What is wrong with this world is that we don't love and we don't talk to each other. We don't form human relationships anymore. That is wrong with this world. It's not about your freaking fascist agenda in your mind.
Fascist?
Fascist. I'm going to say the word. Just like you quoted Trump, Trump is a fascist. Quote me on that. Quote me on that. Okay? Ford. People that elected Ford are people that are demented, that have absolutely no social
Really?
Yes.
He won a supermajority government.
Demented.
So most of the province is demented then?
Do you not know anything about social reform? Do you not know anything about representative governments? I have 2 degrees in political science, man. Don't even try to challenge me.
Well, please educate me.
Don't even try. What's your degree in, dude?
Journalism.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Believe me, I'm mourning it every day, ma'am.
I would assume if you were for the rebel, yeah, that explains that.
Gone into computer science.
You should have gone into anything but what you're doing right now, honey.
Maybe political science.
Anything but.
So what do you do for a living right now, ma'am?
I'm a high school teacher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're got a nice.
Educating the young about people like you and about your agendas and about the racist crap that you guys propagate in my city after a tragedy that has moved every single person in this community.
The Toronto District School Board?
To its core. And you come here questioning people about ISIS and about people visiting websites in Afghanistan. Who the hell cares, man? People are writing on a wall to show their condolences. What is your problem?
I'm just asking questions, but you're yelling at me.
Not your question, nor is it appropriate.
Are you really a school teacher?
Yes, I am.
Is this how you teach your children, by the way?
Absolutely.
You scream at them?
No. Come on, man. Seriously? 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 Are you that dense, dude?
Well, I've never seen you teach, ma'am.
Seriously? Are you seriously that dense?
Well, I mean, you said you were a teacher, and I'm just wondering.
Okay. Don't question my profession.
Okay. Are you with the Toronto District School Board?
Does that matter?
I'm just wondering where you
identify myself to you. No, you're right. You are not the cops, and even if you were the cops, I know my amendment rights, so no thank you.
Amendment rights?
Yeah, we're done. We're done. Peace out. The rebel sucks ass. Quote me on that one, too.
Wow, I think this video makes for a great advertisement for those who advocate homeschooling. By the way, I don't want you to get the impression that I am anti-teacher and that there are no such things as teachers who are right of center. Indeed, much like I assume most people who went through the education system, I personally encountered teachers who were inspirational role models, But I also encountered teachers who had retired but had not left the building yet, if you know what I'm saying. I have met teachers who are conservative, but unfortunately, they don't dare speak out, folks. That could make for a career-limiting move, sadly. In fact, another big problem with the education system is that teachers' unions are not run on the basis of merit, but rather seniority. Doesn't matter if a teacher is good or bad. All that matters is how many years they've hung around for. That makes for an inherently flawed system. But with the Ontario Teachers Unions now using fear tactics by clamoring for schools to remain closed due to a false boogeyman, just so they can carry out their spiteful campaign against a provincial government that they despise, well, this is nothing short of egregious, especially when one looks at the stats and sees who is truly at risk when it comes to the Wuhan virus. Enough is enough. Get back to school. And to paraphrase a line from that famous Pink Floyd song, hey, teachers unions, leave them kids alone. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, if you can please visit journalistdefensefund.com, that's journalistdefensefund.com. If you're able to, make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.